Hello, students. Sorry. Hello, students. Welcome to Natp e-learning for the 2020 Level 300 TV programming. In this lesson, we'll be looking at the course outline and how it is going to be executed. We shall first have a recap of what happens in television production from the pre-production stage to the production stage and then post-production. And then we'll see what activities have to take place at each stage until the program is completed. Now, when the program is completed, we go on to see what television programming is. Because remember that when you do a TV program, you go through all of these things for it to be put on TV. Now, for it to be put on TV, it has to be programmed. There's a program that you have to go through if you work in a TV program or if you have any business to do with a TV station or channel or network. So we'll look at what programming is, we'll look at who a TV programmer is, and then we'll end with looking at the audience research. Because remember that whatever TV program you do, you are doing it for an audience. And so you will have to research into the type of audience that you would want to see your program. That is what we'll be looking at. A lot of research goes into that. So we'll look at the stages of production, pre-production, production, and post-production. Then we'll look at what television programming is. That is the role of a TV programmer. And then programming on audience research, audience targeting and analysis, and ratings. And then TV programming principles and strategies, which includes selection, scheduling, promotion, and evaluation. We will also look at prime time scheduling practices, new program selection, and promotion. We'll look at television programming and media convergence, that is traditional television versus online and mobile television. Then we'll look at the scheduling of news and talk shows, scheduling of soaps and children programs, and then programming and the multiplicity of television channels. By the end of the course, you are expected to know what television programming is about, what a programmer does, and the principles and strategies of programming. 2, you should be able to effectively select, schedule, promote, and evaluate TV programs, and be able to attract and maintain the right types of audiences for advertisers. And finally, at the end of this course, at the end of the semester, you are expected to become a competent and strategic TV programmer. Now, when you were in level 200, you discussed the various stages of TV production, or at least you read something about the various stages of TV production. And you had the pre-production, you saw the pre-production, production, and post-production. At the pre-production stage, you are involved in ideation, that is finding ideas for TV programs and developing those ideas through research and scripting. You do a lot of planning at the pre-production stage. You plan for your location, you plan for your personnel, you plan for your equipment, and you plan for your logistics. Then you organize your personnel, organize your production meetings, organize your equipment, your set, your props, your costumes, and all other production elements. And then you now, as the TV producer, coordinate the personnel and the activities of the various departments. Then comes the D-Day. That is the production stage, where you are actually going to do the recording of the program, or you are going to transmit a program live. And remember that TV production even becomes more challenging when you are doing a live telecast. And therefore, if you don't do all these things that you are supposed to do at the pre-production stage, before you come to the production stage, you are going to have problems. Because at the production stage, you are supposed to be managing, controlling, and directing the program. You are managing people, you are managing time, you are managing space, and managing equipment, and so on and so forth. You will have to control sound and light and movement, and you are going to have to direct crew, cast, and equipment. Then you come to post-production. At the post-production, you edit. You edit your video, you edit your audio, you work on the lighting, you provide graphics and animation, and any special and visual or sound effects that you want to add, you add all of that at the post-production stage. And then you do your packaging. Now, after you have gone through all of these stages, pre-production, you do your planning, you do your organization, you do your management. Then you come to production, you direct, you control, and you manage equipment, personnel, and then time. Then when you are done recording the program, you go to the post-production stage. And then you add all your special effects, you edit your video, you cut out unwanted materials, you add your sound, you add your graphics and animation, you add your special effects and everything, and package it together. When you have done that, it means that now you have a recorded program. And remember that we did say that if you have to do a live telecast of a program, then it means that some of the activities at post-production are going to be added to your pre-production planning and organization. Because with a live program, you are not going to have the luxury of doing post-production, doing anything to the program after you have recorded the program or after you have transmitted the program. Remember, with live production, the program is being viewed at the time that it is being produced. And so a lot of your post-production activities will have to be added to your pre-production activities. But if we are talking of you now holding a packaged program, which has gone through the various stages of production, then you are talking of a recorded program, and then you hold it. You go to the master control room, or if you are an independent producer, you go to the TV station and speak with whoever is in charge of the program. And then you negotiate, and the program is taken. From this time onwards, programming is going to set in. The program's manager or the programmer or the program director then takes charge and negotiate with you, and you decide on the time that the program is supposed to be shown to the audiences. Now, What is programming? When you go into a TV program, a TV station, there is somebody who is in charge of all the programs you see at the time that you see them. The person who does that is the programmer, or the programs director, or the programs manager, whatever he is called. And the process that he takes a program through until the viewer sees it is called programming. And that process involves the selection, scheduling, promoting, and evaluating programs. The TV stations have a lot of programs. They receive some from outside, they produce some inside, in studio. So out of all of that, the programs director or the programs manager or whatever he is called decides which program comes on air or is transmitted at what time of the day. So he selects, he schedules the programs, promotes the programs, and when they have started showing, he monitors and evaluates the success of otherwise of the program. So the process of selecting, scheduling, promoting, and monitoring and evaluating programs or TV productions is called programming. At a TV station or a network, the decisions are made at the very highest corporate level. Regardless of the person's position title, the job will be to choose content that targets the desired audience, design a schedule, make sure the content is effectively marketed, and monitor the outcome. That is what a TV programs director does. He chooses the content that targets the desired audience and design a schedule and make sure the content is effectively marketed and then monitor the outcome. Always remember that the role of a TV programmer is to maintain the main function of the commercial media, and that is to deliver audiences to advertisers. The main function of a TV station or a media house is to deliver content that will attract audiences, and those audiences are delivered to advertisers. And you always have to make sure that the new shows a programmer chooses must appeal to more viewers than did the old shows. There's a saying in television parlance that the audience always wants to see something new. So if you have a new program and you are looking for a time slot to play the program, you look out for the best time that the program can attract more viewers. Because remember that you are cultivating these audiences so you can deliver to advertisers. After all, that is how you make your money. A television station makes money because there are audiences who watch the program and because there are advertisers who advertise their products to those audiences. Therefore, for you to have a successful programming, you should make sure that the new shows that you are going to choose will appeal more to the audiences than the older ones that you have. Otherwise, there's no point. But day to day, once the big decisions are instituted and the programs are running, evaluation of some kind of audience ratings takes the front seat for programmers. You just don't program a show, put it on the schedule. Then when it starts running, you go to sleep. You monitor it to see how the program is doing. Is it attracting the right kind of audiences? Is it attracting the right numbers? Because that is where the meat is. That is where advertisers are going to come on board. So if you go to sleep, how are you going to be able to know whether the program is doing well or not? You've scheduled the program, it has started running. Your work doesn't end there. As a programmer, you have to monitor the show and be sure that it is actually working. Then you now ask yourself, what does the audience want? The most important part of TV programming is understanding the audience. What appeals to viewers or listeners or online users? Quite simply, on the surface, audiences want to be entertained and they want to be informed. Speaking very generally, these two elements comprise the whole of programming content. But the saying goes that the devil is always in the details. In almost every game, it said, aiming at the wrong target can mean you lose the game. For example, if you are scheduling a program on a local TV station that is opposite sports highlights on Monday at 8 p.m., an extremely popular program with men, you probably not want to choose another program that appeals to men at that time of the evening, unless you are completely sure that the new program you are going to schedule will be able to sway the audiences from sports highlight to your program. Remember that sports highlights is a very strong program, especially for male audiences. So if you want to introduce a new program and you want to schedule it at the same time as sports highlight is shown at 8 p.m., you run the risk of killing the program before it even takes off. You do not match your new program against an already running program which is very popular to a particular target audience. If you are targeting that same category of audience and you go and put your program there, then you should be sure. You should behave like the proverbial blind man wanting to throw a stone at you. It says that if a blind man says he will throw a stone at you, then he probably has his foot on it. So if you are going to schedule a program against a very popular program running on your competitor network, you must be sure that your program will be able to sway the particular audience away from your competitor. Otherwise, you risk killing the program before it takes off. You will probably be better off in that case scheduling a program which appeals to women who are not interested in football. And remember, it is not all women who are not interested in football anyway. There are certain women who like sports more than men. But generally speaking, it is believed that male audiences patronize sports programs on TV than females. So if you have a program that you want to show at that same time that your competitor is showing a sports program, then you should be sure that either it is too strong a program that can sway the male audiences from your competitor to your program, or you will be better off doing a program that will attract another category of viewers at that same time. For a program that appeals to an older audience, you might want to counter program with a program that appeals to younger audiences. And let's go back to the point above. We say that if you are showing a program that will rather appeal to a different category of audiences from the one that are attracted to your competitor's program, then you are engaged in counter programming. Counter programming is to program a program that does not target the particular audiences of your competitor. If you have a TV show that appeals to women and your competitor is showing sports at 8 p.m., and you also go and show your program that appeals to women who are not interested in sports, then you are doing counter-programming. Now, for a program that appeals to an older audiences, you might want to counter-program with a program that appeals to a younger audience. For a program that appeals to males, you might want to counter-program with a program that appeals to females. For a program that appeals to the literate, you might want to counter-program with a program or with a show that appeals more to the illiterate. Counter-programming is what it is called. Now, for a program that appeals to the sophisticated audiences, think of one that appeals to a not so sophisticated audience. If you have a program that appeals to people who speak a particular type of language, in Ghana, for instance, you would want to counter program with a program that is for the sophisticated elite society who are most of the time English speaking and would enjoy English speaking programs. Perhaps you might have to go for a local language program if you want to show it at that same time. Then you are counter programming. Although advertisers are interested in the number of viewers that watch a show, they are even more interested in the show's audience demographics. And by audience demographics, we mean the population distribution, the characteristics of the particular audience. Are they male? Are they female? Are they in the rural areas? Are they in the urban areas? Are they economically higher in society? Are they socially higher in society or lower in society? Are they males or females? What is their age range? You need to know that. So it is not just the numbers, but you should know the audience demographics. You should know the characteristics of the audience that advertisers are looking for. Because advertisers are not just interested in the numbers. Because if, for instance, a company is selling makeup kits or some particular new product that has come there, and you go and you see that a program is attracting very highly educated men, advertisers will not be interested in such a program because the advertiser is selling cosmetics that are being used by females. So yes, this program may be attracting a lot of viewers who are male and highly educated. You cannot sell your cosmetics to such a group of people. And so yes, the advertisers are interested in the numbers, but they are not just interested in the numbers, but they are also interested in the demographic profile of the numbers of people who are watching the program. And therefore, you too, as a programmer, should have some amount of knowledge of demographics and then the analysis of the demographics of the audiences before you'll be able to properly target a particular audience and cultivate those audiences and deliver them to advertisers to sell their products to. If you don't do that, you lose out. You cannot make your money. Meanwhile, there are a lot of bills to pay. You pay the personnel, you pay for the equipment, you pay for the time. Now, advertisers typically do not buy advertising time in programs based on their personal likes or dislikes about a show. Yeah, as an advertising or marketing manager of a particular company, he may personally like a particular program, but he will not buy time on your station to advertise on that program. Why? Because it is not about him. It is about the viewers. Now, just because I like your program does not mean I should just get up, take money, come and buy airtime, and advertise my product on your program, simply because I like it. I am not the audience. I am going to sell to the audience, and therefore I should know who the audiences are. I should know their likes and dislikes. I should have done an analysis of their demographic profile to be able to sell to them. And so we say that advertisers typically do not buy advertising time in programs based on their personal likes or dislikes about a show. They base their decisions on audience numbers and demographics. They want to know how many of the right kind of people, in terms of age, sex, socioeconomic status, urban-rural status, and so on, will be watching their commercials. And you see, marketing managers or advertisers look at the cost involved in remember that when they advertise on television, they are advertising to a mass audience, that is millions of people at the same time. It would have cost them a lot of money to have to meet individuals to sell their product to them. And that is why they come to buy airtime on television to show their programs. But for him to now come and buy airtime on television and he is not able to sell to the millions of people, did he go there or did he come? So they just don't buy airtime. Yes, I may like your program, but how many more people watch it? Can I reach the age target? Can I reach the sex target? Can I reach the target of the socioeconomic class that I am looking for simply because I like it? No, that does not happen. So they want to know how many of the right kind of people will be watching their commercials before they buy the airtime. Now let's have a small discussion or a little analysis of Ghana's demographic profile. As at the end of 2017, Ghana's demographic profile was as follows. The total population was about 26,908,262. The current population of Ghana as we speak today, as of September 26, 2020, stands at 31,222,271 as of Saturday, September 26, 2020, based on the Worldometer elaboration of the latest United Nations data. And out of this 31,222,271 of Ghana's population, the age structure is as follows. The 0 to 14 years old constitute 38.2% of this number. 15 to 24, 18.6 or 18.7%. 25 to 54, 34%. 55 to 64 years, 4.9%. And then 65 years and above constitute 4.19, or if you like, 4.2% of our total population. The age structure. in nominal terms are put in the brackets, as you can see them. Those who fall within the age brackets of 0 to 14 constitute, as at the end of 2018, constituted 37.83%. Out of them, we had 5,344,146 as against 5,286,383. Now look at what has happened. From there, if you move to age group 15 to 24, you see that the population of the females has overtaken the population of males in Ghana. You go further up, 25 to 54 years, and you realize that the gap between the females and the males is increasing. But then when you go further, 55 to 64, then you see that the females are much, the trend continues. And that is why they say, it is said that, or it is believed, and in fact, it is backed by data, that there are more females in Ghana than there are males. Even at the 65, the latter parts of the ages, you still realize that there are more females in the 65 and above than there are males in the Ghana. So generally, you see that apart from, if you take it from age 0 to 14, and whatever happens, it means that more males are born, but by age 14, who knows? Maybe more of the males die off also, and then the females take over. So it is no joke that they say that in Ghana, there are more females than males. So if you are targeting females, then you know that you are targeting a majority of the population of Ghana. At the literacy as we define, takes it that the age 15 and over who can read and write. Who can read and write what? English, of course, because that is our lingua franca, that is our official language. The total population of Ghana, according to 2015 estimates, was 76.6% literate. Out of that, males constituted 82% of the literate population, and females constituted 71.4% of the population, according to 2015 estimates. But it looks like the trend is changing. I do not have the latest data as far as literacy is concerned. But now that the universities are beginning to to admit more females than males, it is very likely that the situation would have changed by now. I don't know if there are more females who are literate than males, or the situation still continues. But the likelihood of it not being the same as the 2015 estimates is there. Okay. Now, when we come to languages, Asante constitutes the majority. Majority of Ghanaians speak Asante, followed by Ewe 14%, Fanti 11.6%, Bono 4.9%, Dagomba 4.4%, Dangbe 4.2%, Dagar 3.9%, Konkomba 3.5%, Achim 3.2%, Gan 3.1%, and others all together 31%. Now, if you put all of that together, you realize that those who speak Akan, the Akan-speaking population in Ghana, then becomes the majority in Ghana. So that should also inform your programming decisions. If you want to sell, or if you want to capture the Akan-speaking audiences, then you know that you are targeting a majority of Ghanaians. And don't forget that all these other languages. Those who speak all these other languages equally understand Akan. And you should not be surprised that TV programs that are targeted at Akan speakers attract a lot of audiences because they are in the majority. That one is a fact. So all of these things come in. When you do your audience demographic analysis, you have to take all of these things into account before you do your scheduling, before you program your shows, so that you'll be able to tell that if I am targeting the Akan speaking, if I am targeting the literate, if I am targeting males, if I am attracting females, this is what I do. This is the time I will get them. This is the kind of program I can do to get these people. Then you are doing audience demographic analysis to help you in programming your shows. Now, when it comes to religion, Christians constitute about 70, according to 2010 estimates. That is from the 2010 population estimates. Christians constituted about 71.2%. And that one too can be further broken into the different denominations of Christianity. And then you have Muslims, 17.6%, traditional African religion, 5.2%, and others, 0.8%, and none. There are people, 5% of our population in Ghana is made up of people who don't belong to any religion. Now, urbanization. How many people live in the urban areas? According to the 2015 estimates, 54% of the total population of Ghana lived in urban areas. And this goes at a rate of 3.4% urbanization, annual rate of change between 2010 and 2015. The annual rate of change in urbanization was about 3.4%. Now, urban population has since moved from the 54% to 56.7% of the total population as at the 7th of December 2019. 56.7% of Ghanaians now live in the urban areas. So if you are doing a program that targets urban dwellers, then you know that you are targeting about 57% of Ghana's population. And when we go further, you get to realize that that is why a lot of TV stations concentrate in the urban areas. Now, broadcast networks have for some time now relentlessly pursued one segment of the audience to the exclusion of the other TV viewers. Programs have been targeted towards the younger, more urban audiences in the major population centers and away from the more thinly populated rural markets, where the networks have no direct economic benefits. This is what I was saying. You realize that a lot of TV stations are concentrating in the urban areas. And do you blame them? Perhaps no. Because if their main aim is to cultivate audiences and deliver to advertisers, and you can get about 57% of the population of Ghana living in the urban areas, naturally you will be more attracted to doing programs that target urban dwellers. Therefore, there is no wonder that there are a lot of TV programs that are targeted at young, because the young are in the majority. The women are in the majority, and the urban dwellers are in the majority. It makes economic sense, even though it is not always about economics. Sometimes it is also about morals. It is also about advocacy. It is also about the welfare of people. But once the aim of a TV station is to cultivate audiences and deliver to advertisers, in which by which process the advertiser will make his money by selling to the audiences, and the TV station will make its money by delivering audiences to the advertisers. You don't blame them if they concentrate on the urban population, because the urban population makes up the majority of people in Ghana. Well, this is how far time will bring us. Time will allow us for today. Go over these notes again, do further research. If you have any questions, comments, or contributions, don't hesitate to call me on or send me a WhatsApp message on 0244 724 338. You can send me a WhatsApp message for now. In the course of the semester, we may have to do, subsequently, we will engage in live chats as well as Zoom discussions if need be, and then we'll be able to interact more. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, any comments, or contributions, send them to me, and if need be, I may share it together with all of you on the platform for us to get a more interactive. We will get more interactive in due course. In a few weeks' time, we will go for live chats or Zoom discussions, depending on which one comes first. Until then, revise your notes, do more research, and stay safe. COVID-19 is still very much alive. Thank you. Bye-bye.